What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking some NBA. Here to talk about the Chicago Bulls and here to talk about why I believe Demar Derozan should be the leading candidate for the NBA MVP award this season. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. Leading candidate, not just one of the guys in the conversation, but the guy leading the conversation. And I will get into exactly why I believe that. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to go ahead, hit that big red subscribe button down below. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And guys, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. All right, here we go. Why DeMar DeRozan deserves to be the leading candidate for the MVP award. And keyword is right now. We're still in the middle of the season. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. So I totally understand that, again, this is not projecting out to the end of the season. And I'm not saying DeMar DeRozan's going to win it. All right, so don't get me wrong there. I'm not saying he's going to win it. What I'm telling you is right now, if the season did end right now, he should be the leading candidate for the award. Okay? Still a lot of basketball left to be played, but he should be the leading candidate. Okay? He has torn up the world on fire. 2 straight game winners back-to-back. You've seen the numbers he's put up. Absolutely changed the Bulls and their projections in terms of victories as they're number 1 in the East now. He has changed life in Chicago. And for that reason, again, I believe he should be the MVP. So let's start with this. What takes winning the MVP award? How do you win it? All right. It's very simple formula. Very simple. I always say this. There's 2 things. 2 things you need to win the award. Okay. So MVP award equals stats plus wins. All right? You need both of these. You cannot win the award without incredibly amazing stats, and you cannot win the award without getting W's. All right? Now let's get into a little bit more detail, okay? We're talking about really good top 5 stats. When I say that, like top 5 in category stats, career high stats, right? Like you have to be averaging Russell Westbrook, like when Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double for the first time, he won it based off stats. Again, that was an exception, by the way, because he didn't have a lot of wins. But you have to, stats mean a lot. That's what I'm trying to say here. And then wins, I would say top 3 seed in your conference. All right? You have to have this. All right? Unless you do something crazy like Russell Westbrook did when he averaged a triple-double. For the most part, you will have to be a top 3 seed in your conference, and you will have to have really, really good, amazing stats. Well, let's take a look at DeMar DeRozan and how he is stacking up when we take a look at this. All right, stats-wise, averaging 27 points, 5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and rounding up here, which are all incredibly great numbers, right? Top 5-ish in scoring in the NBA. And then right here, first in East. Boom. Okay. So you have both of these. Now you might be wondering, well, Faiz, Zach LaVine's having great numbers as well, and his team's first in the East. Well, DeMar DeRozan's numbers are a little bit better. All right, so that's why I'm doing that. So clearly, DeMar DeRozan meets the criteria here because he's got both of these, but so do a lot of other guys, right? So let's take a look at the competition for DeMar DeRozan, okay? So right now, when we take a look at the candidates at this point for the award, you got your usual suspects, right? You've got KD, you've got Harden, you've got Curry, Giannis, you've got, did I mention LeBron? Okay, so we've got our usual suspects. But again, you have to have wins. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me list out the top teams in each conference real quickly record-wise. Okay? So you got the Bulls, Nets, Bucks, Heat. And then in the West, you've got the Warriors, Suns, Jazz, Grizz. Okay? So when we take a look at these guys, and by the way, I've circled these guys because they've got the best numbers right now. And again, I will get into a couple more candidates. But right off the bat, we don't see the Lakers here. That means they're at the bottom, right? They are. They're 6th or 7th in the West right now. That means you can eliminate LeBron James because even though he's having an incredibly good season, the wins aren't there. You're not going to win this award if you don't get wins and at least a top 3 seed in your conference. Then we take a look at the other guys right here, right? KD, Harden, Giannis, Curry. Okay, we've got them. They're legitimate candidates. But I'm going to say Harden is not going to win it because KD's having better numbers than him, and it's the same thing with DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, right? 2 really good players on a team. Well, the guy who has better stats is going to win it. All right, so right off the bat, we eliminated Harden and LeBron. So we've got the candidate for the Bulls, which is DeRozan. Nets, KD. Bucks, Giannis. And then Heat, Jimmy Butler's having a decent season, but I don't think it's worthy of an MVP award, okay? So I'm not going to put Jimmy Butler. Steph, I've got here. Suns, Chris Paul and Devin Booker both aren't having, mind-boggling statistical seasons. So I have a hard time saying either one is going to qualify to win an MVP award. Maybe they'll make a late run, but as of right now, no. Jazz, same thing. Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, numbers just aren't mind-boggling. They're good, but they're not that great. Grizzlies, Ja Morant, he's having a great season, but again, missed a few games there. Again, numbers are solid. They really are. But I think he needs to be higher in the conference, okay? So really, it's coming down to these guys and DeMar DeRozan. Well, when we take a look at these guys and DeMar DeRozan, let's be honest about it, folks. Giannis has won this award twice, okay? There is some voter fatigue to it, and we've seen better numbers that Giannis has put up before. So yes, it is unfair, but Giannis and KD, even to an extent, are dealing with a lack of appreciation for their greatness because they keep doing it over and over again. We've seen KD put up better numbers. We've seen Giannis put up better numbers. But here's the other argument. If you want to take that away and say, Faiz, that's not fair. Who's number 1? The Bulls. So if the Nets or the Bucks were number 1 or took over the number 1 spot, cool. KD, Giannis, I'd put you up there. But right now, the Bulls are number 1. And if they finish number 1, I don't see how KD or Giannis win the award with DeRozan keeping it up, because keep this in mind. If the Bulls are the number 1 seed at the end of the season, this man has a lot to do with it. So essentially, we come down to the only competition for him is this man right here, Steph Curry, because his team also number 1 in the West. So Steph Curry right now is the competition for DeMar DeRozan. If the Bulls end up winning the East and the Warriors end up winning the West, the record is going to play into it. And we take a look at the numbers. They're also going to play into it, right? Steph's averaging about 27 as well, right around there with DeMar DeRozan. So to me, you can make the case DeRozan's the leading candidate, because his team is number 1 in the East, and then Steph's really the only competition because his team's number 1 in the West. Again, we could have the sort of give it to the new guy thing where Steph's won this award twice before. But again, that's not a logical reasoning. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. The logical reasoning is when we look at stats and we look at wins, DeMar DeRozan has both. Okay? He has both to win the award. What the Bulls need to do to ensure that he wins it is they need to have the number 1 seed, and they need to have as good or better record than the Warriors. They're not that far behind. So this is why I believe DeMar DeRozan should be the leading candidate for the award, because from what we've seen, he meets the criteria, and he's a bad man. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below as always. Thanks for watching.